The film begins with a couple stuck in a long line of cars at a gas station. Out of nowhere, all the lights suddenly go out, throwing everything into darkness and leaving them deeply unsettled. As they talk, we learn the terrifying truth. Earth is running out of energy. Within just 5 years, the entire planet will be left without electricity. To solve this crisis, the world's best scientists and astronauts have come together for one desperate mission. A massive space station called Cloverfield has been built, where they plan to generate unlimited energy using something known as the Shepard particle. The idea is simple but risky. Trigger a chain reaction powerful enough to solve the global energy problem. But despite multiple attempts, every test has failed. Now, a new team is being sent to continue the mission, and among them is Ava. She doesn't want to go. After losing her children in a tragic house fire, the thought of leaving her husband Michael alone is unbearable. She tells him she just wants to stay with him. But Michael convinces her otherwise, reminding her that this mission isn't just about them, it's about saving the entire world. The story then shifts to the Cloverfield space station, where Ava joins the rest of the crew. 7 astronauts now work together under intense pressure, trying to stabilize and activate the Shepard particle. Their goal is to create endless energy, but every attempt ends in failure. With each failed test, their hope fades, and their situation becomes more desperate as they slowly run out of fuel. After yet another failed attempt, a physically and emotionally drained Ava contacts Michael. She tells him they only have enough fuel left for 3 more trials. If all 3 fail, there will be nothing left to stop Earth from falling into complete darkness. The weight of that reality hangs heavily on everyone. As the crew prepares for another test, tension inside the station rises. Under stress, they begin blaming each other, and arguments break out. Some even come close to fighting, but the captain steps in and restores order. Just before the experiment, they watch a news report from Earth that sends chills down their spine. A scientist warns them that the Shepard particle they are about to activate is far more powerful than expected, nearly 1,000 times stronger. He cautions that such energy could tear a hole in space and time itself. If that happens, different dimensions could collide, bringing unimaginable horrors, even monsters, into their world. The crew is shaken, but the commander shuts off the broadcast, forcing everyone to stay focused. With everything on the line, they begin the experiment once again. This time, it works. The Shepard particle stabilizes, and a bright, powerful light fills the machine. For the first time, success feels real. The crew celebrates, believing they have finally achieved the impossible. But their victory is short-lived. An intense energy overload suddenly hits the station. Systems begin to fail, alarms blare, and parts of the station are severely damaged. A fire breaks out, and as they struggle to contain it, a massive shock wave hits them. Outside, a strange energy wave passes through the station, causing gravity to disappear for a brief moment. Eventually, power is restored, and the fire is brought under control. For a moment, everything seems normal again. But that calm is only an illusion. The real nightmare has just begun. When Ava checks her systems, she is horrified to discover that Earth is no longer there. It has completely vanished. Panic spreads instantly among the crew as they struggle to understand what has happened. Did their experiment destroy the planet? Trying to regain control, the captain orders everyone to focus on repairing the damaged systems. But as they begin, Ava notices something even more disturbing. Their navigation system is missing. Before they can process this, a sudden scream echoes through the station. They rush toward the sound and discover something impossible. A woman trapped inside the station's wall, tangled within wires. She is badly injured. When she sees Ava, she calls out her name, as if she knows her. But Ava has never seen this woman before. Confused and terrified, the crew carefully cuts her out of the wall and rescues her. As they begin treating her injuries, one question lingers in everyone's mind. Who is she, and how did she get there? The scene then cuts back to Earth, where Michael is suddenly woken up by a massive explosion. As he rushes to the window, he is met with pure chaos. The city is falling apart. Huge explosions light up the sky, fires spread uncontrollably, and no one understands what is causing it. Panic has taken over everywhere. The story shifts back to the space station, but things aren't normal there either. Strange, unexplainable events begin to occur. Objects start moving on their own, disappearing and reappearing in impossible ways. It feels like reality itself is breaking apart. Then, something horrifying happens to Volkov. One of his eyes begins to move on its own, completely out of his control. His behavior turns violent and erratic. In a terrifying moment, he uses a 3D printer to create a gun and tries to attack the crew. But just before he can fire, foam suddenly pours out of his mouth and he collapses. The crew rushes him to the medical bay, hoping to save him. But what happens next shocks everyone. As the doctor examines him, a swarm of worms suddenly bursts out of his mouth. His body violently explodes, killing him instantly in one of the most horrific ways imaginable. At the same time, the mysterious woman they rescued begins to wake up. She looks directly at Ava and asks, "What are you doing here?" The way she speaks makes it sound like they already know each other. She introduces herself as Mina Jensen and claims that she has been working on the space station for the past 2 years, while Ava stayed back on Earth. Ava is completely confused. She tells Mina that she has never seen her before and that she is the one who has been on the station for the last 2 years. This contradiction leaves both of them shaken. Before they can understand what's happening, Mina suddenly grabs Ava and gives her a chilling warning. She tells her not to trust Schmidt under any circumstances, claiming that he is the reason the Shepard particle keeps failing. Hearing this, the captain immediately takes action and locks Schmidt in a secure room. Schmidt is completely confused and has no idea why he is being treated like a threat. Everything is spiraling out of control. Back on Earth, Michael drives through the destroyed city, desperate to understand what's going on. A friend contacts him and delivers shocking news. The Cloverfield space station has completely disappeared from radar. No one knows where it is. Michael is devastated, realizing that Ava might be lost forever. As he continues driving, he suddenly stops near a collapsed building. Through the dust and smoke, he sees something terrifying. The shadow of a massive creature towering over the ruins. Fear grips him instantly. But then he hears a small voice crying for help. He finds a little girl trapped under debris, terrified and alone. Without hesitation, he rescues her and takes her to a safe shelter. Meanwhile, back on the space station, the nightmare continues. Mundy is repairing a wall panel when suddenly, the wall pulls his arm inside. He screams in agony as Ava and the others rush to help. They manage to pull him free, but what they see next leaves them stunned. His arm is completely gone. Even more disturbing, Mundy feels no pain and there is no bleeding at all. It's as if his arm was never there. The crew is left deeply shaken by this impossible event. Schmidt, still locked in his room, begins to hear strange tapping sounds at the door. When he looks closer, he sees something horrifying. Mundy's missing arm is crawling across the floor on its own. He screams for help as the crew rushes in and manages to capture it. They place the arm on a table, and to their shock, it starts moving as if it's trying to communicate. Realizing this, they give it a pen. The hand slowly writes a message. "Cut open Volkov's body." With no other choice, the crew follows the instruction. When they cut open Volkov's corpse, they discover something unbelievable. Their missing navigation device is inside his stomach. The situation has now gone far beyond logic. Without wasting time, they reconnect the navigation system and begin searching for Earth. After a tense moment, they finally locate it. Relief washes over the crew as they immediately try to contact command back home. They fail to establish direct communication, but they manage to intercept a news broadcast. What they hear next leaves them speechless. The report claims that the Cloverfield space station was destroyed and that its debris crashed into the Atlantic Ocean. This makes absolutely no sense. They are still alive, standing inside the station. How could it have already been destroyed? One of the scientists begins to piece everything together. He realizes that when they activated the Shepard particle, the massive energy surge didn't just stabilize the system. It tore a hole in reality itself. This explains the strange events, the impossible phenomena, and even Mina's sudden appearance. In a chilling realization, he concludes the truth. The overload didn't just damage the station. It transported them into an entirely different dimension. The truth slowly becomes clear. They are not in their original reality anymore. This alternate universe has its own version of Earth, and Mina belongs to this timeline. In her world, she was one of the crew members aboard the Cloverfield station. But in her reality, the station had already crashed into the ocean. When our crew arrived here, their presence displaced Mina, trapping her inside the walls of the station. Realizing the situation, the crew understands that there is only one way to get back home. They must activate the Shepard particle accelerator again. If they can recreate the same energy surge, it might send them back to their original dimension and give them a chance to save their Earth before it's too late. Not everyone agrees with this plan. Some crew members consider staying in this new universe, believing it might be safer. But most of them decide they have no choice. They have to go back. With that decision made, they begin repairing the damaged particle accelerator, preparing for another risky jump. While the repairs are underway, one of the crew members goes to check the water filtration system. Suddenly, the machinery malfunctions. Water bursts out violently, flooding the entire room and trapping her inside. The crew rushes to help, but before they can reach her, the immense pressure causes an outer airlock to rupture. In an instant, the freezing vacuum of space floods in. The water instantly turns into solid ice, killing her in the most brutal way imaginable, right in front of everyone. The crew is horrified. Seeing this, the captain realizes the truth. This universe is not just unstable, it is actively trying to kill them. With every loss, the situation becomes more desperate. Fewer crew members mean fewer hands to fix the station. But despite everything, they push forward. Mina offers to help them repair the system. In return, the captain promises that before they attempt the jump, they will send her back to her Earth in an escape pod. As they work together, Mina and Ava begin to grow closer. During a quiet moment, Ava opens up about her past. She reveals that her children died in a fire caused by a faulty battery she had installed herself. The guilt has been haunting her ever since. Mina then tells her something shocking. In this alternate universe, Ava's children are still alive. She even shows Ava a video of them, safe and happy. This completely breaks Ava emotionally. For the first time, she sees a chance to fix her biggest mistake. Ava realizes that if her children are alive in this world, she can still save them. She decides she no longer wants to return to her original reality. Instead, she wants to go down to this Earth with Mina, warn her alternate self about the faulty battery, and save her children in this timeline. She shares her decision with the captain and convinces him to let her leave with Mina. Meanwhile, Mundy continues working on the particle accelerator, trying to fix the magnetic field with just one arm. But suddenly, everything goes wrong again. A powerful magnetic surge erupts, pulling metal objects violently toward him. The energy builds uncontrollably, and in a massive explosion, Mundy is killed instantly. The crew is left in shock, barely able to process yet another loss. The explosion causes severe damage to the station. A section of it begins to tear apart, threatening to destroy everything. The only solution is to detach the damaged ring before it takes the entire station with it. Ava and the captain rush to carry out the emergency procedure. But when they try to seal the doors, they discover the system has failed. The only way to close it is manually, from the inside. It's a one-way decision. Without hesitation, the captain makes his choice. He steps into the damaged section, locks the door from within, and ejects the ring into space. In doing so, he sacrifices his own life to save the rest of the crew. Ava is devastated, but there is no time to grieve. The mission must continue. With everything set, she prepares to leave the station with Mina in the escape pod, ready to start a new life in this alternate world. But just as they are about to leave, everything takes a dark turn. Mina suddenly attacks Ava, striking her unconscious with a heavy tool. Her true intentions are finally revealed. She never planned to help them. She wants to take control of the Cloverfield station and keep it in her own dimension. The truth behind Mina's actions is finally revealed. Her Earth is facing the same energy crisis, and without the Cloverfield station, her world has no hope of survival. Since her version of the station was destroyed, this one is her only chance. She needs the Shepard particle to generate endless energy and save her reality at any cost. Leaving Ava unconscious, Mina arms herself and sets out to eliminate Schmidt, the last surviving crew member who could stop her. But just in time, Ava regains consciousness. Fighting through the pain, she rushes toward the control room, determined to stop Mina before it's too late. As Ava distracts her, Schmidt sees an opportunity and jumps in, trying to grab the gun. A violent struggle breaks out, but in the chaos, Mina manages to shoot him. Without hesitation, she turns the weapon toward Ava, and the two engage in a brutal fight for survival. Despite Mina's strength, Ava manages to think quickly. She shoots the airlock window, instantly creating a powerful vacuum. The force pulls everything towards space. Ava desperately holds on to whatever she can, but Mina loses her grip. In seconds, she is dragged into the freezing emptiness of space and dies. Ava quickly seals the breach, breathing heavily, shaken but alive. She rushes to Schmidt and treats his wounds, doing everything she can to keep him alive. In that moment, Ava realizes something important. She belongs in her own universe. No matter how painful her past is, this is where she needs to be. Before they activate the Shepard particle again, Ava records a message for her alternate self on this Earth. She leaves behind the blueprints for the particle accelerator and warns her about the faulty battery that caused the fire. She hopes that this message will save her children in this version of reality. With everything ready, Ava and Schmidt power up the Shepard particle once more. After sending the message to Earth, they pull the lever. The machine roars to life, firing a powerful energy beam and tearing open another dimensional rift. The station is pulled through once again. This time, they make it back to their original universe. Communication systems come back online, and they finally reconnect with Earth. The Shepard particle is now stable and fully functional. The mission is a success. They have solved the global energy crisis and secured a future for humanity. Relieved, Ava receives instructions from Earth to return home immediately using an escape pod. She and Schmidt board the re-entry capsule and begin their descent toward Earth, finally believing that everything is over. Back on Earth, Michael receives a call from the Space Center. They tell him that Ava is coming home. But instead of relief, he panics. His voice trembles as he begs them to stop the landing, desperately telling them not to let her return. As the escape pod descends through the clouds, the horrifying truth is revealed. A massive alien creature emerges, roaring across the sky. The dimensional rift has brought monstrous beings into their world. The scientists' warning was true. The experiment didn't just solve the energy crisis, it unleashed something far worse. The monsters have already taken over Earth, and this time, there is no escape.